obviously I had a hand in it. I had part of writing that press statement last night just to get it completely finalised. This has been a very long, drawn-out process, as you know, and I'm just pleased to be able to give an update. It's an update I want to bring for quite a while. I know members of my board have been pushing me for a public update. It hasn't been something I've been able to do until we had a solution. It is only a solution, it's subject to contract, but there is an option on the table, and I really do hope that that's the end of it. It's certainly a step in the right direction.
Okay. We got here because Bride withdrew funding. Now, lots of people will wonder, why did Bride withdraw funding? Why did it get here, Rob? Okay,
so it got here through historic setup. The Civic Amenity Site Committee was set up in 2017, I think it was, and everything's based off rateable value. That's how the Isle of Man works. 24 parishes work to that across the Isle of Man. Now, Bride took exception to the fact that they were paying what they felt was too much for the site. They kept looking at it as a per household item. Which isn't how rateable value works. So they obviously received money inbound, but they didn't want to pay it out as per the ratio that the rest of the island does, and they rose grievance to exit the site. Unfortunate, but it's their decision. Ultimately, it's legislation that lets us down in that it says that you may provide a civic community site. They obviously decided, well, we may not. We are looking.
Did you know that was coming? Did you know there was trouble brewing?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say Bride haven't been quiet in their dissatisfaction over the ratio splits for quite some time. To actually formally make that statement was a big move for them. And once they'd made that, it was a case of, okay, well, what are we going to do? In the press statement I made a few weeks ago about the closure of the site, where I spoke about every possible option had been thrashed out. Every possible option had been thrashed out. At some point, there was a loser. And not any parish wanted to lose. They didn't want to. The overarching comment that kept coming out of that room was, we don't want to pay more to allow someone else to pay less. That was the gist of it. So that was the disagreement. And when you've got so many people going around a table to try and find a solution, you're never going to please everybody. And at that point, it was a case of, we have a lease agreement. It is a lease. We can serve notice on it. So we did. The committee decided to serve notice on the site to the DOI as a 12-month notice period. We met with the DOI a few times over that 12-month period. We had a lot of meetings over that 12-month period, and not a lot happened, being brutal. And in the end, it was a case of, right, we're now at a point where we've got to give staff notice of redundancy. Again, something we didn't want to have to do. And the DOI at that point decided they are serious. It is coming back to us, and we'll have to deal with it. So at that point, they engaged, and that's fine. That's contract negotiation. You know, they're not going to get involved until they have to. But I'm glad they have, and it's been encouraging working with them over the last few weeks to get to the point where we are in a good position. The site's well run, the staff are good, the finances are good. We made the prudent step that every current member, or all members bar Bride, submitted that they would pay for the next financial year, so they'd already planned ahead and budgeted for that. So all we had to do was confirm that we were willing to pay that to the DOI, which we are, and then that means we can proceed.
Okay, so we're talking about you're a member of the Northern District Civic Amenity Site Joint Committee. Now, does that comprise of each council, each parish, and what have you?
Yeah, that's right. So every commission have a representative that sit on that committee. Yeah.
How many are there?
There's 7 or 6.
Okay, so as it stands at the moment, are Bride in or out?
So Bride served notice to leave. We have taken the view, I've taken the view, that they still remain because the agreement is still historic. So yeah, I hope that they are still part of it. They say they're not, but we'll see.
Are they paying?
They served notice on the site at the end of September for the financial year to March, and the funding gap would lead you to believe they're not.
So what does that mean for Bride residents? Can Bride residents use the facility?
Again, that was a step that we spoke about as a committee. You know, if they're not paying, how can they use it? But ultimately, there's nothing to stop anyone using a civic community site. You can't do that. So the site is open and everyone's using it.
Now, there was a fear that this would lead to fly tipping in the northern parishes. Have you seen any evidence of that, or is there much fly tipping in the north?
There isn't much fly tipping at all, and 99.9% people were very good citizens and wouldn't dream of doing it. We haven't seen a spike. It was a threat, it was a risk, and I think if the site had shut formally, then you would see a significant increase, but we haven't seen it.
I mean, how close was it to closing?
Now till the 31st of March, 2 weeks away.
Right. So what were the negotiations like with the DOI?
Very good. There's some pretty firm conversations around this is our stall. You need to believe that this is happening. And as soon as the DOI got involved, it was resolved pretty quickly, and I must thank them for that. They were good for that. I wanted it sooner. I wanted it a lot earlier, but it is how it is.
Well, this is just one of the things that perhaps people don't understand is the function of local government, and the fact that this has taken so much time and effort and conversations and meetings. It's just one of many things. This has never been a case before. Nothing like this has ever happened before, has it, Rob?
Not that I know of, no.
Thank you for making it to the end of the Manx Radio newscast. You are obviously someone with exquisite taste. May I politely suggest you might want to subscribe to this and a wide range of Manx Radio podcasts at your favourite podcast provider, so our best bits will magically appear on your smartphone. Thank you.